She said her mom needed help, but her mom thanked me for letting her spend the weekend with her friend. My name is Elias, 29. My girlfriend Marissa and I have been together for 3.5 years. Not perfect, but stable enough for me to believe she was the woman I'd eventually build a home with, raise a dog with, and grow old with. We lived in Austin, in a small but bright apartment under my name. She was a kindergarten teacher. I was an interior designer. We were both busy, but we always kept our one rule. Weekends belonged to us until one very ordinary sentence changed everything. Friday night, 7:14 p.m. Marissa was in the kitchen, chopping onions, glancing at her phone every few seconds. Her expression was tense, not work stress tense, but waiting for someone tense. I asked, "You okay?" She jerked slightly, forced a smile too quickly. "My mum, she's not feeling well. I think I should stay with her this weekend." I nodded without questioning it. Her mom, Helen, 52, was one of the sweetest women I knew. I'd fixed her shelves, her TV, her light fixtures more times than I could count. "You want me to drive you?" I asked. "No," she said a bit too fast. I can go by myself." Weird, every time her mom was sick, Marissa clung to me even more. But I didn't want to make a scene, all right. "If you need anything, text me." She hugged me quick, tight, almost like an apology. Then she grabbed a bag and left. No goodbye kiss, no love you. But then things started to feel off. The next morning I texted her mum just to check in, just being polite. 5 minutes later my phone rang. Helen's voice was cheerful, almost too cheerful. "Elias, I'm totally fine. Thank you for checking. Marissa said you two were going on a trip with friends this weekend." My mind blanked. "We are?" "Yes. She told me you agreed to let her spend the weekend at Ashley's place. I told her you were such a sweet boyfriend." Ashley, her college best friend. The same Ashley who openly disliked me, and who Marissa once described as wild but harmless. I couldn't speak. Helen kept going, laughing. "Young people need their fun. Thanks for letting her relax. Let her Let her do what exactly?" I hung up with my heart hammering. Marissa wasn't with her mom. Marissa wasn't sick. Marissa wasn't even close to where she said she'd be. So where the hell was she? That was the moment I knew something was very wrong. I texted Marissa, "Are you at your mom's?" 10 minutes. No reply. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Finally she responded, "I'm busy taking care of her. I'll call you later." I stared at that message. Every word felt like a brick dropping inside my chest. Her mom was completely fine. Gardening. Cheerful. Definitely not sick. So Marissa was lying. But why? A chill crawled up my spine. This wasn't a she needs space situation. This wasn't just a weekend. This was something she didn't want me to see, something she didn't want me to know, and people only lie this carefully when the truth is ugly. Very ugly. After the call with Marissa's mom, I stood in the middle of the living room like an idiot. The phone screen still lit in my hand, my heartbeat pounding like I'd just sprinted. Marissa was lying. Not a small, harmless lie, but the kind of lie you prepare in advance. Carefully, with coordination. Why would she need two different versions of the story for the two people closest to her? I hadn't even processed it when Pepper, my old college cat, jumped onto the couch, letting out a long meow, like even he could sense something was wrong. I sat down, petting him, but my thoughts were already spinning like a storm. Ashley, the name that sets off every alarm in my brain. Ashley was Marissa's college best friend. She loved partying. She once drunkenly texted Marissa things like, "Oh my God, you have to come to this party. There's this newly single guy and he's so hot." She'd called me Marissa's dry but adorable fake husband. And once, right in front of me, she said, if Marissa wasn't taken, I'd drag her to Vegas with me till sunrise. A person like that, and Marissa lied to be with her. That wasn't normal. Not even close. To the accidental photo that made my skin crawl that afternoon, I still hadn't texted Marissa. I wanted to see how she would act. Around 4 p.m., I opened Instagram just to habit. And instantly, a story popped up at the top. Ashley 10 minutes ago. I tapped. A long table full of drinks, loud music, girls screaming, the camera shaking, neon lights flashing. No Marissa, but at the last 3 seconds, when Ashley panned, the camera left a familiar silhouette with long brown hair slipped into the frame, and the beige coat I bought Marissa last year. I tapped again, watched it frame by frame. Yes, it was her, not her mom's house, not a hospital, not taking care of someone who's sick. A bar. With Ashley and several men in sight. Just 1 second, but enough to numb every nerve in my body. Point 3. Half-lie message at 6:22 p.m. Marissa texted, "Mom's a bit tired, so I didn't use my phone much. I'll call you tonight." I stared at the message, feeling something inside me twist sharply. She was still lying. The longer she lied, the more her story unraveled. I replied, "Okay, take good care of your mom." No anger, no accusations, no questions. My calm was the perfect spotlight for the truth to reveal itself. 4. Helen texted again, and her words crushed another layer at 7 p.m. My phone buzzed. A message from Marissa's mom. "Thanks for checking." I called, but Marissa didn't pick up. She's probably having fun with Ashley. They haven't hung out in a while. It's good for her. I reread it. Probably having fun with Ashley. Fun. What kind of fun? At a club. Drunk. Going where after? That night, my mind started going places I didn't want it to go. Why lie about her mom being sick? Why hide where she was going? Why lie to both me and her mother? There is only one reason someone needs two different stories. They're doing something they don't want either person to know. And that reason is never good. 5. The picture that froze my spine around 11:15 p.m. Ashley posted a second story. A group photo. Blurry, neon purple light, music pounding. Marissa was at the edge of the frame, half her face, but unmistakably her. I knew every detail. But what punched the air out of me, a man was standing extremely close behind her. His hand hovered behind her lower back, not touching yet, but close enough to show the familiarity. Marissa was looking toward the camera, eyes slightly curved, cheeks red, the kind of red from alcohol and messy emotions. She looked happy in a way she hadn't looked with me for a long time. I turned off my phone, sat down, not angry, just cold. 6. The final message, the one that felt too fake to believe. Near midnight, Marissa finally texted, "I'm exhausted. I'll come home early tomorrow. I miss you." I reread the words "I miss you" for the first time ever. That phrase made me laugh, but in the saddest way possible. She missed me. With the music, the drinks, the man standing close enough to breathe her air. No, she missed something, but it wasn't me. Asterisk, and that was when I knew. Tomorrow. When Marissa walks through the door, she's not coming back to the same man. Asterisk, if she chose lies to hide the truth, I would choose silence to expose it. A silence deep enough for her to finally see herself. I woke up early not because I slept well, but because my mind kept replaying every piece of last night. The flushed smile in the purple neon light, the hand hovering behind her back, the fake little "I miss you." The morning sky was a dull gray, as if the whole city agreed that something about this story was wrong. I made coffee, poured it into a cup. No sugar, no milk. It was bitter, exactly the feeling I wanted to keep, just to stay sharp. 8:17 a.m. The door opened. Marissa stepped in, trying to look normal. Her hair was messy. Her jacket still carried the scent of cigarette smoke from the bar. She saw me sitting at the kitchen table, like I'd been waiting to catch her in something. "I'm home." Her words fell into the air like a pebble, sank, and disappeared. I didn't answer. I just looked at her. She put her bag down and tried to smile, tried to act natural. "I was exhausted last night. My mom." "Don't bring your mom into this." I cut her off. She froze, her hand still on the strap of her bag. "What do you mean?" "Your mom texted me last night." Marissa's face changed in 0.2 seconds. Not sadness, not guilt, but panic. The kind of panic of someone who knows they've been caught exactly where they're weakest. "She said she's feeling fine." I spoke slowly. "She drove herself out to get groceries. She was happy you were out with Ashley." Marissa opened her mouth, then closed it, then opened it again like a fish out of water. "Evan, I can explain." "Explain what?" "First." I leaned back in my chair. "The part where you lied to me, or the part where you lied to your mom, or the part where you made both of us believe two different stories." Marissa inhaled hard, trying to steady herself. I just wanted a break. I felt suffocated and good," I said. "So who did you take that break with?" Her face went pale. What do you mean?" I picked up my phone, opened Ashley's Instagram story, and placed it on the table, not handing it to her, just close enough for her to see the outline of herself at the edge of the frame. Marissa's face drained of color. It's not what you think." "Great, I knew you'd say that." She stepped forward, voice trembling. "Evan, please, don't look at everything so negatively. I just went out for a drink. I didn't want to worry you, so I saw you." "What?" I looked straight into her eyes. "Told your mom you were at a friend's place for a bit. Told me you were taking care of your sick mom. And then showed up at a bar with a friend who specializes in dragging people into trouble." She froze. Even she knew her story had nowhere left to go. "I only had a drink. I was stressed. Ashley invited me out to talk. Everyone has moments. Do you want to talk about the guy standing right behind you in the picture?" Her breathing hitched, like her lungs couldn't expand. "Why, you're being unfair." "No." I set my coffee cup down. "You need to understand. This is no longer about last night." "What do you mean?" "I'm not mad you went drinking. I'm not mad you have friends. I'm mad because you have secrets." She went silent. "And people only hide secrets from someone they're afraid of losing." I continued. "Not from someone they value." Marissa trembled. Her fingers curled inward, as if holding herself together. "Evan, don't think I cheated. I swear nothing happened with anyone. That guy stood close because I didn't say cheat." I looked deeper into her eyes. "But you're the one confessing." She swallowed. I could see her throat move. The physical sign of the first panic spike. "Evan, I didn't do anything wrong." "Good. Then answer 3 questions. Short, direct." She inhaled shakily and nodded slowly. "Okay. Question 1. Did you lie to me because you were afraid I'd know where you went, or afraid I'd know who you were with?" Marissa closed her eyes for half a second, a completely unconscious reflex. Any therapist would call that avoidance of truth. I just didn't want to argue. "So if you told the truth, there would be something to argue about." She said nothing. "Question 2. You and the guy in the picture, is there something between you?" Her first reaction wasn't, no, not denial, not surprised, it was, please, don't misunderstand. I smiled, the kind of smile someone gets when the answer is already clear. Question 3, the one that breaks everything. If I did the same thing, lied to you to go to a bar with a girl you've never met, would you be okay with that? She shook her head before I finished the sentence. Fast, instinctive. No. That answer was the evidence. I leaned back in my chair. Marissa, I said softly, I'm not angry because you went to a bar. I'm angry because last night you chose to keep me in the dark. She started crying, not loud, but the kind of trembling cry at the chin, the cry of someone who knows they just burned down something they can't rebuild. Evan, don't leave me. I didn't say I'm leaving, I replied, but if you want me to stay, then from this point on, you're going to have to tell me the rest. Marissa stood in front of me, eyes red, breathing unsteady like she was trying to hold herself together with the last bit of pride she had. Evan, I didn't cheat on you, I swear. I then say it. I cut her off. Everything. No more hiding. She swallowed so hard I could hear the dry click in her throat. She hadn't told many lies in her life, but she had just chosen the worst possible time to start practicing. Marissa pulled out a chair and sat down, her hands intertwined, trembling. The guy in the picture, his name is Chris. Chris, the name dropped like a pebble, small, but enough to send ripples through the lake of my emotions. Who is Chris? She twisted the ring on her finger, her habit whenever she got nervous. An old friend. I stared straight at her face. What kind of old friend? She took a deep breath, like she was about to admit to an ugly part of herself. We used to date, briefly before I met you. Not a fatal blow, but enough to make someone take a step back. Okay, continue. We broke up because we weren't a good fit. Nothing serious. And last night, she covered her face with her hands, voice small like she was confessing a crime. Last night, I didn't know he'd be there. Ashley asked me to go to the bar, and when I got there, Chris was there. I raised an eyebrow. Coincidence? Yes, I was really surprised. Then she added a sentence that killed whatever trust was left, but he said he wanted to talk to me again. I let out a dry laugh. Talk to you again meaning what? Marissa went silent for exactly 3 seconds. And that's enough, Chris said. I haven't looked happy lately. He wanted to check on me. And he checks on you with his hand behind your back. Huh. This time she couldn't even protest. Then her phone rang, a soft tune, a faint vibration, but enough to flip the entire atmosphere in the room. The screen lit up, the name displayed, Chris calling. Marissa instantly turned the screen off, like she had just touched something burning hot. I stared at her without blinking. Oh, another coincidence. Ivan, please, don't misunderstand. No, this time I want to hear it. I reached over and took the phone from her hand. Marissa panicked. No, Evan, don't. But I had already picked up hello. On the other end, a man's voice, deep, slightly rough. Marissa, did you get home? I was worried you were drunk last night. I cut him off. This isn't Marissa. Silence. The kind of silence people have when they know the situation has gone completely wrong. His tone shifted, cautious. Then, who am I speaking to? I'm the guy she had to lie to last night so she could meet you. He exhaled. Okay, Evan. I figured it was you. Marissa talks about you all the time. I narrowed my eyes. Then let me ask you straight. Last night, did anything happen between you two? He answered immediately. No hesitation. No, I didn't touch her. But I tightened my grip on the phone. But I don't think she's happy. And if she has to lie to you just to feel a bit of freedom, maybe the problem isn't her. Marissa shot up to her feet. Chris, stop. I looked at her, then said to him, you know what's sad? It's not that you care about her. It's that you knew she lied to me. He took a rough breath. I told you, nothing happened. But I'll be honest, if Marissa ever wanted to get back with me, I wouldn't say no. I closed my eyes for a second. Enough. I hung up. Marissa collapsed into her chair like all the bones had been taken out of her. Evan, that's not true. I raised my hand to silence her. Marissa, do you know what hurts the most? She bit her lips so hard it bled. I spoke slowly, each word like it was hammering into the floor. It's not that you met your ex. It's not that you lied to me. I looked her straight in the eyes. The worst part is, when I heard his voice, I realized one thing. You gave him the right to speak about me. She broke down crying. Evan, please don't believe him. I don't want to get back with him. I stood up, looking around the room like it no longer belonged to me. I don't know who you want to go back to, I said. I only know, last night you chose a way of living I can't live with. Evan, please. I shook my head. You didn't lose me because of last night. You lost me because you thought I wouldn't see it. Marissa shattered on the spot. I walked out of the apartment. No more words, no turning back. Behind me, Marissa collapsed onto the chair, and her sobs were swallowed by the soft click of the closing door, a tiny sound that ended a very big chapter. I took the elevator down. Watching the LED numbers drop from 10 to 1 felt strangely light. Not light because I'd lost someone, light because I finally saw clearly what I'd been holding on to. That afternoon, Marissa texted. No calling, no screaming, no blaming. Just one long message. the kind written by someone who no longer had the strength to defend themselves. Evan, I know you don't want to hear this, but tonight I want to talk one last time. Not to ask you to come back. I just want to explain everything and tell you what I didn't have the courage to say this morning. I read it. No bitterness, no hope, just a feeling that a door needed to be closed. I agreed. 8 p.m. the cafe downstairs. Bar p.m. A small cafe, warm yellow lights. Marissa arrived before me, a rare sign. She looked bad. Not just cried bad, but might blame herself for this forever bad. I sat down. Neither of us spoke for a few seconds. She started first. Evan, I'm sorry, I answered softly. I know. She stared down at her cup, rubbing the rim with her finger. I couldn't sleep last night. I kept thinking about everything, and I realized the reason I was afraid to tell you the truth about Chris wasn't because I loved him. She looked up, eyes red but voice steady. I was scared that if you saw everything, you'd see who I really am. I leaned back, waiting. Evan, the truth is, when Chris came back, I got confused. Not because I still loved him, but because part of me didn't want to see him doing better than me. I was selfish, really selfish. I stayed silent, not surprised, because it fit perfectly. She placed her hand over her chest. You're always steady, always clear, always loving me in a way that made me feel safe. But Chris, he's a part of my past I never fully got over winning. When he suddenly needed me again, I felt validated. Then she said the one sentence that even made me exhale. I didn't cheat, but I wasn't honest. And sometimes, those two hurt just as much. Silence. She asked quietly. Evan, have you ever felt not enough? I shook my head. No, I just felt like I wasn't put in the right place. Marissa cried, but not frantically, not panicked. Just the soft crying of someone who finally confronted their own truth. I know you won't come back. I know I've lost you, but I hope, someday, you won't see me as the worst person in this story. I sighed gently. No, you're not the worst. You're just someone who wasn't ready to love the way you thought you wanted to. She reached into a bag and took out a small box. I want to return this. It was the bracelet I gave her on our 2-year anniversary, the one she once said was the most meaningful thing she ever had. I pushed it back. Keep it. It's a gift, not a transaction. She choked up. More tears. As I stood to leave, Marissa called out, Evan. I turned back. I really loved you, but sometimes, love isn't enough to keep someone you've hurt too much. I looked at her for the last time, not angry, not broken, just sad for something that could have been beautiful if it had been treated right. I know, I said, and I hope you learn from this. She gave a weak smile. I'll miss you, longer than I want to. I nodded, then walked away. No door slam, no shouting, just quiet. On the way home, I realized Marissa didn't lose me because of Chris, not because of a photo or a phone call. She lost me because she chose hiding over honesty, chose avoidance over accountability, chose to keep her past as a safety net, and chose to believe I'd accept it all simply because I loved her. But love is not blindness, and respect isn't something you can patch back together that night. When I got home, Pepper ran out to greet me as if sensing the shift in the air. I sat on the floor, petting him, breathing deeply. No anger, no regret, no bitterness, just a strange, quiet peace. One chapter closed, a new one waiting.